If you could learn to hit your fairway woods effectively, then you're going to get closer to long par 4s and par 5s in 2, which is going to reduce your scoring. Golfers come to me all the time for lessons, struggling with fats and thins and chunking it with their fairway woods. So in this video, I'm going to give you 5 things you can do to strike the ball better with your fairways and reduce your scores on those long holes. If you are new here, then please do hit that subscribe button. I release new videos like this every single week that I'm certain will help your game. Right, let's get straight to it. So the first thing you're going to do to strike your fairway woods better actually happens before we start swinging, and that's checking the lie. Too many times do I do playing lessons with golfers who go out on the course and actually the ball is lying terribly and they pull out a fairway wood and then chunk it or top it or whatever they do. If the ball is not lying well, either in the fairway or sitting up in the semi-rough, then fairway wood is just a no-go. You either need to pull out a hybrid that you get on with, or a 5 or 7 iron that you can just chunk down the hole and turn that par 4 into a par 5 and just settle for making a bogey. What we don't want to do in these situations is invite in even higher scores. So topping a ball is basically like a penalty shot. So if you don't have a good lie and you're not confident that you can get the club into the back of the ball, then just do not take your fairway wood. It's not worth it. So once we've determined that the lie is okay, the first thing we're going to talk about is our ball position. Too many golfers believe that they need separate swings for woods and irons, and whilst hitting a driver is different to hitting a club off the ground, a fairway wood is actually much closer to hitting an iron than it is hitting a driver. Because the ball's on the ground, we need a relatively downward attack angle. We want to hit the ball before the ground, which means we need the club to be moving down when we hit it. In a driver where I might have the ball off my left foot or left heel, when I go to fairway wood, I'm going to move this back into more of like a 4 iron or a 5 iron position, to where I know I'm pretty confident in hitting the ball first. With a fairway wood, I'm not looking for maximum distance, I'm looking for maximum consistency of strike, because we're never going to be that accurate with this club, so we're never going to be able to consistently hit it on greens. I'm using this club to get down by the green if possible, and on the green if I'm really lucky. So I'm not optimizing myself for distance, I'm optimizing myself for strike. So I'm going to move that ball inside my left heel, probably to where I'd have a long iron, and that's going to allow me to strike the ball before the ground. Oh hey, you're still here, thank you. So most of you guys watching this are not subscribers, and although the few subscribers that are watching this, thank you very much for being here, I could really do with the help. If you subscribe, like and comment, even if you think I'm stupid, that really boosts the engagement, it helps get this video out to more people and helps me grow. So anything you can do to help, that'd be great. The third thing I'm going to do to help me guarantee a clean strike is actually go down the grip. Again, because I'm not looking for maximum distance, I'm not optimizing myself for that. I'm worrying more about hitting the ball first, because then I'm going to get good distance. So I know that with a fairway wood, a heavy shot goes nowhere. So what I'm going to try and do is always pick it slightly clean. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move my hands from the top of the grip down an inch, which gets me closer to the ball. So again, this is going to make this club a lot more like a 5 or a 4 iron, but it's just got masses of weight back away from the face, which is going to give me loads more distance, even if it's the same length. So I'm going to go down an inch, which is going to obviously shorten my radius, get me closer to the ball, which again is just going to help me strike the ball better, strike the ball more consistently. To help you understand this, if you think about your putter, most golfers don't tend to fat or thin or top putts unless they're really struggling, and that's because they're much closer to the ball. You know, the putter's about 34 inches. If my hands are that close to the face, it's much easier to guarantee a good strike. So anytime we can just save an inch, get our hands a bit closer to the ball, move us closer to the ball, then we're going to just have a better chance of striking the ball clean. So I've got the ball back, I've got a good lie, I've got my hands down the grip, and now I'm in a good place to strike the ball cleanly. The fourth thing I'm going to do in order to strike my irons more consistently is keep my arms nice and wide and swing as wide as I possibly can. So the reason I like to do this is because I know from experience and I know from teaching golfers day to day that generally golfers who have a nice flat, wide arc generally strike the ground more consistently than players who go upright and with bent arms. The reason that is the player who's bending their arms is always varying their radius, and when your left arm and arms and club, and when the radius, so your left arm to club head, varies loads, it's very hard to guess where you're going to strike the ground. So again, if we go back to putting, when we have a straight left arm, it's very easy to be very precise with our strike. So same with the 3-wood, if we can keep our arms nice and wide, then we're going to have a much shallower swing, and we're going to more or less hit the ball properly every time. When you're doing this, you've all of a sudden got a big timing element to your swing. Are you going to bend your arms and then straighten them enough? Are you going to keep them too bent or straighten them too early? And all of those things are just going to cause us problems. So we want to do our best to stay nice and wide, grip down, ball back, good lie, and we're going to have a good chance to strike it well. The final thing I'm going to do, if I really need to strike the ball well to get my ball down to the green on a long 4 or a short 5, is I'm going to shorten my follow through. So by doing that and swinging with a more of a fleetwood finish, what that's going to do is that's going to steepen our angle of attack. If you swing nice and long and high on the way through, generally you will have a more upwards angle of attack. It's not quite as straightforward as that, but as a general rule, if you stop quickly after the ball, you're going to have a steeper angle of attack. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and swing and not let my hands get higher than my shoulders on the way through, and that's going to steepen my angle of attack slightly, help me hit the ground before the ball. I'm probably going to hit the ball a bit lower, but that's a sacrifice I'm going to make if I need to strike the ball well and advance it as far as possible. And hopefully with that I might get a bit more run to balance out the lack of carry. So if we just run through those things, we've got the ball back of where you would have a driver, much closer to where you've got an iron. I know it's a good lie. I'm going to go down the grip. I'm going to try and keep my arms nice and wide, and then I'm going to shorten my follow through to steepen my angle of attack, and that's going to give me good strikes pretty much every time. And you can see on that one, it's set off much lower. It's not going to go as far, but it is going to get down to the green. Again, we're not trying to get these on the green. We're not trying to be precision, pinpoint accurate with these clubs. We're using this to get us as close to the green as possible to leave us the easiest and the shortest chip onto the green. So don't think about these clubs as maximum distance. Think about these clubs as basically just a long iron, and you won't go far wrong. These heads are big and they're forgiving. There's loads of weight in the back of the head which helps us launch it up. So we don't have to worry too much about hitting these up in the air. So don't be one of those players who's leaning back trying to scoop it, because then you've got tops written all over it. If you think about those 5 things when you're next out playing and you stood facing a fairway wood shot, you're going to be absolutely fine, and I'm sure it's going to help you shoot lower scores. Thanks very much for watching the videos. If you can please like and comment to boost the engagement, and subscribe if you don't already, that'd be great. If you like what I put out in these videos, you like what I say about technique, I can actually help you with your game no matter where you are in the world. So if you just want to click the link in the bio, it'll take you to Skillist, which is an online coaching platform, and there you can look to see what I do, and actually I can help you with your game, so analyze your swing, give you some drills and tips to help you improve, so we can work together to help you lower your handicap. But anyway, let's get back to the video.